If you still haven't figured out the guest on the show, you don't know your cricket. A great journalist said about him, it's a war between him and his chewing gum against the bowler. And most of the times, the chewing gum is enough. Welcome to What the Duck Season 2, powered by Hike Messenger, Sir Viv. Good to see you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Welcome to a small country. Our population is a little less than Antigua.
Where I'm from is actually bigger.
And 27 plus languages, so many cricket associations. We have one hero, Sachin Tendulkar. But he says he has one hero, Sir Vivian Richards. And every time I meet Sachin, he says, you know, chatting with Viv is something different. What is this chemistry about?
Well, to be fair, I'm rather privileged, and I'm in a good place when you have someone with his achievement saying these things. You know, I guess when apparently he was going through a very bad period, he had spoken to me, or he called me anyway, through a very good journalist friend of ours, and apparently said that he would just like a chat. And I just found the time because I felt that rather moved to know that someone of his stature and what he would have achieved until then, it was quite nice and casual of him to do that. So he spoke about the fact that maybe the Indian crowds and the people who saw him play at first wasn't quite into the thing with him, with his new role as he got a little older. Everyone felt that the way he started, they wanted him to continue that particular attacking, real flashy style which he started with. And it was quite hard for anyone to accomplish doing so. And I said to him, listen, don't you ever worry about being, whether you're going to be loved or not. I would like to think, and this is just my personal feeling, that you are still the Shaolin master.
Wow.
And to me, you know, you have the Karate Kids, you have people like Sehwag and all these real guys, you know, who were very much in that attacking mode. That here was a great opportunity that when the Shaolin kids got it wrong, the Shaolin master would come to play. And he did batting in the middle order itself, because you do need that sort of experience, that sort of stability, which I think he would bring, that calm demeanor, which I've always admired. And there's a little thing that I think when I first saw as well, to something that I sort of identified, watching him for a fair bit as well, that he was enjoying his bowling a little bit more than his batting. And I said to him, come on. You know, you look a little tense while he's batting you. You're scared to play your shots. And for a guy who would have achieved so much, come on, just relax yourself a little bit. Be as relaxed, the batsman, as you are a bowler, because he felt that there wasn't any pressure put on him with ball in hand. But then you could see the pressure when he had the bat. And it was just all about someone who you love and admire to just say, hey, if you quit tomorrow, in my book, you'll be a legend. So you continue, do the things that I think that maybe what the team would require at that particular time. The elder statesman, the Shaolin master, and I think you'll be able to get things done. And it was quite nice in a way to see him continue and to achieve what he did in the end.
Wow, that means a lot to him at that time, I guess.
Well, I hope so, because I think whenever I speak with him, he would speak about that. And it makes me feel good, you know, and especially when you have some of these little young kids on the block at home in the Caribbean who think that they knew all about batsmanship. I would say I had a call from Sachin, and I gave him a little advice what he should be doing. So you guys should take note.
But typically when the Master Blaster meets the Master Blaster, what do you guys discuss? Do you say that I beat Lily more than you beat McGrath? Like
No, not really. What I've always loved and appreciated about Sachin is that his sense of humor is quite good. He's not a guy who speaks about I this, I that. I can remember there was a particular individual, an Englishman by the name of Jeffrey Boygan. No one ever knew that he was an eye specialist in real life. No one ever knew that. You know, when I say an eye specialist,
Yeah.
because if you do commentary with him on a regular basis, is I would have done that, I would have done
He's
this.
a wonderful cricketer, but I would have played better
Yeah,
cricket
but
than him.
I like your Yorkshire accent as well.
So Dennis Lilly said about Jeffrey Boycott that he's the only person who has fallen in love with himself at a young age and has remained faithful ever since.
I tell you something, that's I never quite could get into bed with Dennis Lilly, but I can tell you for sure I would get into bed with him with that comment.
But you had a nice chat with Sachin in his music room. And I know Sachin for a long time, he doesn't allow anybody to come into the music room. You went there, what were you chatting? What, Bob Marley?
We spoke
Clapton?
about, yes, for sure,
Yeah?
we spoke about Bob Marley. We even spoke about some people that he knew as well. I think it's the guy from Dire Straits, Mark Knopfler.
Oh, yeah.
We spoke about people like Elton John, Eric Clapton, because Eric Clapton owns a place in Antigua.
Wow.
So I'll catch up with him every now and again, and he did the forward to one of my books as well. I think it was Hitting Across the Line.
Wow.
So it was cricket, I guess. Mick Jagger.
Mick Jagger,
We
yeah.
spoke of
He loves his cricket.
Mick Jagger. We spoke of so many individuals, you know, who appreciate seeing cricket.
Did you ever meet Bob Marley?
Oh, I met him. I met him a few times. I guess there's some stories to tell you. You know, he came to our dressing room in Jamaica. Then after that, he asked if he could come to the hotel where we were staying at the time, the Pegasus Hotel. And if anyone knows the Jamaicans in terms of the Rastafari movement, you would know that they are most the Rastafarians are members of the Green Party. You know, and when you say the Green Party, you can do some research and find out what I'm speaking about, you know. But they came, and they came to my room at the hotel to meet the guys, and I was just privileged to know that here, guys, music who you would listen to, the inspirational side of things that Bob Marley would sing about. Here's this guy in your dressing room with 12 other members of the 12 tribes of Israel in your room. That's very special. But the funny part about it, in the back, all of a sudden, I could see this huge bonfire. And I'm saying, wow, what's going on here? It's not allowed. When you have 60-odd journalists from England on the same floor as well, or in the hotel, no, that wasn't the best advert, I think, at that time. So I had us to be quite brave and said, Brother Bob, this is not allowed. You know, it's not allowed in here. You know, I know I'm doing something totally against your religion, but our religion say, no, we cannot. So he obliged, and the amazing thing about it, Bob, when you hear this, even if you'd hear maybe a Chris Gale talk as well too, he's also from Jamaica. When those guys speak at times, every 2 words is like, yeah, man.
Yeah, man.
Everything cool, man.
Yeah.
And everything cooled down, then the fire was put out.
Michael Holding, Jamaican, right?
Definitely.
Not a very good player at all. Not the very accustomed.
I tell you something, man, you could be a good person either. Had Jeffrey Boycott, now it's Michael Holding. When I leave here, I bet you'll be doing Viv.
I can't get your baritone. Let's talk about India. You've come millions of times. You made your debut here, and I'm sure you've had some interesting experiences because we guys are, we're a little aggressive people. We like to take selfies from all corners. We want your elbow, foot, everything.
Well, the guys
and for Viv, we need everything. But
the guys
any
who
interesting
the
experiences
guys who
here?
invented, before I get into that little answer that I'm about to give you, the guys who invented selfie must be a very good friend of Donald Trump. Gotta be, because he's into himself a fair bit too, you know. How can I be speaking this about the president of the most populous nation on God's earth, you know what I mean? But it was quite funny when we came here. I did meet Physio from India, and he said, when you guys come to India, I'm going to bring my family over for you to meet. And, well, I never really took his word. I'm sitting in the hotel. phone rang. Oh, Viv, I'm downstairs. I'd like to bring my family up to see you. So I'm thinking, well, it could be maybe 2 to 3, a couple of kids, maybe a wife and whatever. But I didn't know that this guy, I know this country is heavily populated. He almost had the whole population of India in my room.
Are you serious?
I'm telling you. And what's the funny thing about it? When he knocked on the door, I just went and I didn't even look outside. So I just sort of saw him and I said, come in. And as he walked in, then I saw like the procession never stopped. My little room was all filled with all these people. I guess his uncles could have come down from wherever, all parts of India, aunts and all these kids in the room. But I said, I oblige. But what I think really got to me that particular day, it's how brave he became. I was watching my television. He plugged my television out, started to put his own plug-in for his video. And I said,
This is in your room?
In my room. I said, what's on earth? What on earth is going on here? But allowed me to get away with it. I guess I had some respect for the ladies who were in the room at the time. You know?
That's very funny.
Well, that was real funny, man. I'll never ever forgive him. But at the end of the day, it turned out to be pretty good in a sense, because you were making a whole lot of people happy. You didn't have all these selfies then, but certainly there was a photography moment.
Did you ever find things about yourself that you didn't know coming into India?
How patient you can be in terms of your patience level is tested. What I never ever felt that you could become a rock star.
Wow.
You know, it's just the adulation that people show for you. You know, people, I've had folks at times, and I do not take myself that seriously. Folks would come and kiss your feet,
Wow.
bring their babies for you to bless your babies. And I'm saying, when I get home and things like that, I'll say to folks, hey, I'm going to become a God man. You know, I'm going to become a God man. You know, I'm going to be able to go and the same as the Rajni and the Sai Baba for Sonny and people like that, you know. So I'm saying, wow, Viv, you could have a new profession in life. That's because of just the respect level and the adulation that people would show for you.
So on What the Duck, we have Viv Baba now.
We got the hairstyle. Huh? We got the hairstyle.
Just got to do this.
Okay.
Okay, now let's talk about the aggressive Viv Richards. You know, I played little cricket. Everybody in India played little cricket. And every now and then when I used to come into bat, I used to have this swagger. You know, I used to, the bat chewing gum throw, hit it with the bat. Unfortunately, my batting was like Glenn McGrath and Courtney Walsh put together. But this was all a part of a drama, right? An act that you did to intimidate the opposition.
I mean, it's when you're from parts of the when you're from the Caribbean, and I guess you guys would have witnessed Chris Gayle and just how he saunters out. You know, there's something special about Caribbean people. There's something that is that sends a laziness, that whole laziness and the environment that we grew up in, beautiful beaches. Cool, man, you know, everything's just nice, you know, we just move along, you know, and what I think was of vital importance as well, too, that I had my chewing gum, man.
That is the most dangerous weapon.
And up to this day, I think if you asked earlier if I have any regrets, the only regret that I had then was the chewing gums that I used to give a workout. I never had an aggressive enough agent because I never had a chewing gum contract, you know, never.
That is so weird.
Never endorsed chewing gum. So anyone's listening, hey, there's still time.
I'm going to get you a deal.
There's still time.
We are shaking hands on this deal.
There's still time for that.
How many would you have per match or per season? Chewing gums?
There's sometimes you outweigh some.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are times where if you didn't have any, you just take it out and make sure that you put it on that nice safe place and keep it there for a little while. When you go back and you have that, it will have totally lost its taste. not as tasty as it first, when you first had it.
And then when you came out, after you got out, or maybe the end of the day, you threw the chewing gum and hit it with the bat. Did you get it 100% every time?
Well, sometimes it's so hard that it never stuck. Never stuck to the bat. It always goes. Always hit the sweet spot.
Nice.
Yep.
Even while going out, chewing gum.
That's right. The sweet spot. Bang.
Yeah, good. Interesting. But you continued with the aggression, even later part of your life with the Aussies, with all your famous rivalries. So I'm going to ask you a little bit about your rivalries. Maybe some few stories here and there, controversial. It's okay. It's a nice show. Let's start with the Australians. Lot of stuff about Lenny Pascoe, a lot of stuff about Dennis Lillee. You said you enjoyed running into Dennis Lillee as well. Some stories there?
Yeah, because the Aussies always brought the aggression. I've never, and I don't think as a West Indian team we ever threw the first stone. But for sure, with the team that we had then, we certainly were going to throw the last. And that was always some good rivalry, some good sort of banter. I remember once Dennis Lillee, because of his aggression as well too, and the long hair, the big nasty looking mustache, nice perfect action, and he was very aggressive. And when you get behind a delivery and maybe like Rahul Dravid and the wall, and I wanted to create my own little wall myself, and I'm behind this delivery and just sort of waiting for that photography moment, let them know that, wow, I played this one well in the middle of the bat. And he looked at me, and I think I was getting really the better of him then, and he looked at me and he said, "You love yourself, huh?" So I looked at him and I said, and I was always pretty quick to reply, and I said, "I've seen you before, and I've learned well." Because as any competitor, he gave that sort of impression as well, that he was into himself. Because when you think that, you don't think about anyone else. You think about maybe you in that little zone, and when someone else come and play that trick on you, you always find it a little hard. And I don't think he took it that well. There was another time, Lenny Pascoe. He bowled me 4 bumpers on the trot. We were playing at Adelaide, and pretty decent bouncers. He's a mad sort of guy. Yugoslavian born. Oh. I don't know whether he was related to the Milosevics or whatever, but he was very, very, very aggressive as well too. And he bowled me these 4 deliveries, and I'm ducking and I'm weaving, and my cap fell off, and I dusted it off and put it back on again. And this time he had us to pitch one up, and I was ready and waiting for this particular delivery. And it came, and I smacked this thing sort of his head out. And just as he was about to deliver, this thing just went by his ears, And I can remember what he said earlier about the first one that I miss, I'm going to be a hospital case. So I wanted to play the trick back at him, and I know he was obviously ducking for cover, and you could see, like he's saying, "Oh, I'm dead now." And I walked up and followed him back to his mark, and I said, "You see, you could have been the hospital case." But at the end of it, the Aussies, that's one thing I love about the Aussies. At the end of every aggressive period, whether it's batting or bowling, those guys would be in your dressing room those days with a full esky filled with some of the finest beers in Australia. And that to me was the spirit in which it was played. So it was never left out there.
But the Australians were consistent with their behavior?
Not all the time. Whenever you gave it to them, they never quite enjoyed it. And I've noticed that even the series that I would have watched here, and that's why I love Virat as well, man. I can relate to these sort of guys, guys who stand up and say, "Hey, man, I'm not going to be taking this rubbish anymore." You hear people speak about, okay, oh, if they do whatever, you hit you on the cheek, you turn the other cheek. How many cheeks you have? You run out of cheeks, So definitely, it's nice to stand up and fight. It's like you have a cage lion, and at some point, you have that lion inside the room, and there's no other entrance for that lion to get out, but the entrance that you're standing in. He's going to come there.
Wow.
And this is what I love. You know?
Okay, Viv, you are a great captain, so I'm going to give you a classic situation and you have to tell me who your bankable player would have been at this moment if you had to take this decision. Virat Kohli and Chris Gayle batting, 15 runs to be made in the last over of this T20 game. And the options you have is your quartet of the great fast bowlers from West Indies. Who would you choose to bowl the last over? Who would be your bankable bowler of the match?
Joe Garner.
The next segment on What the Duck Season 2 powered by Hike Messenger is... Okay, Viv, this is the toughest match you've ever played. This is the What the Duck Super Over. I'm giving you a target. You've got to score 14 runs. I'll be bowling from this end. It's called the duck end. Please take guard. I want to keep one more slip for you. I don't think anybody's kept 4 slips in a gully.
You're brave, man.
Okay.
You won't believe it, Tom. This is the first time I've ever been so nervous.
So,
Look at that.
how can you...
I'm shaking, man.
So I'll give you the chewing gum. I'll give you the chewing gum. Okay. Come on, come on.
This may just calm me down.
Yeah, totally.
Thank you.
Yeah.
One good enough.
That's it. Okay, so the gum is there, but we'll do something which the world has not seen. For the first time in the What the Duck show, cricketing history, Viv Richards will wear a helmet. This is a photo op of the century. There you are.
Let me see if this thing is big enough.
This is the greatest photograph on planet
I don't
Earth.
think I need to strap in anything.
No, but if you get an outside edge, yeah. So shall we start?
There we go. There we go.
So I'll get you 14 runs you can make in one over. Come on.
There we go.
Okay. There you are. 4 runs, lovely shot.
Man,
Oh,
what a start.
what a start. As Greggy would say, what a fly. Viv Richards is on fly.
Oh my
Smash
God.
your strands all over the place. The second ball.
Ah,
Goodness, what a
man,
shot.
I'm in good nick. I'm in good nick today.
Yeah, so 2 balls, 8 runs. So let me change. I'll get my spinner.
This is the Vivian Richards comeback.
Spinner. Shall I get Chandrasekhar? You didn't like him, right?
Oh man, look at this now. I'm getting the pimples now.
My goodness, 3
He's got to go.
balls.
He's got to go as well. He's got to go as well.
Okay, 4 more runs to win. Wait, let me get now Kapil Dev. Kapil Dev outswinger, so outswinger I have to just change the position here. Maybe I'll put pressure. I want the silly mid on a little bit here so that you're intimidated a little bit. There you are. Shit. Did you edge?
Actually, that went along the ground, actually.
Okay, 1 more ball. No, 2 more balls, 4 runs to score. My outswinger's going in swinger. No, you have to take guard because otherwise...
Okay.
There you are! Viv Richards has won the match! What a fly! This is the... Yeah, you can throw the helmet.
Let them go.
Well played.
Thank you so much.
Well played. Absolutely brilliant.
Thank you so much. Thank you for that.
Okay, this is what happens when the great Sir Viv Richards is batting. Look at the fielders, what's happening to them. But for your fabulous man of the match performance, we give you a small gift.
Wow. I'd love to be 17 again. Thank
You know what that 17 is?
Tell me.
The number of ducks you've scored in your life.
Wow. I tell you something, that's clever. Man, I'm beat. Never knew that. Thank you
Something new on board.
Thank you so much, man. Pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you for the memories, Viv. We want one more small memory from you, and that's a sign on the What the Duck bat.
Wow.
Don't worry, we won't auction it.
Okay, anything for you, man. Anything for you.
Here it is.
I thoroughly enjoyed that.
That is priceless.
Okay. I've dotted my eyes as well.
Yep. I can't even imagine if you had to play IPL today. It would have been what, $50 million bid price? Yeah.
I want to be reincarnated.
Thank you very much, sir, for coming here.
Pleasure. Pleasure.